Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into the incredible full history of one of the most iconic monuments in the world, the Statue of Liberty. This is not just a statue, it is a global symbol of freedom, hope, and human dignity. So without wasting any time, let's begin our journey. The story of the Statue of Liberty begins long before the statue itself was ever imagined as a gift for the United States. Its roots lie in a political and philosophical environment shaped by revolution, democratic ideals, and the struggle for human freedom. In the mid-19th century, France was experiencing a wave of political instability. The monarchy had fallen, risen, and fallen again. Revolution was a familiar word on the lips of French citizens. Many of the intellectuals of France deeply admired the American Revolution of 1776 and viewed the United States as a symbol of political liberty and the future of democratic government. Among these thinkers stood Édouard René de La Boulaye, a respected French scholar, jurist, and abolitionist. La Boulaye openly admired the American constitutional system and believed the United States represented the principles of freedom and justice that France itself struggled to fully achieve. Around 1865, after the end of the American Civil War and the abolition of slavery, La Boulaye expressed a bold idea. France should create a monument to celebrate American independence, honor the end of slavery, and strengthen the friendship between the two nations. This was not a casual suggestion. At the time, France was under Napoleon III, a ruler not exactly supportive of democratic expression. For La Boulaye and other liberal thinkers, advocating a monument to liberty abroad was also a subtle way of promoting the same values at home. La Boulaye's idea quickly began to take shape. He envisioned a monumental figure, something grand, symbolic, and unforgettable. Yet he needed someone capable of bringing this idea to life. That someone was an ambitious young sculptor named Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi. Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi was born in 1834 in Colmar, a town in the Alsace region of France. As a child, he showed remarkable artistic ability and grew fascinated with monumental sculpture and large-scale architecture. When La Boulaye shared his idea, Bartholdi instantly became captivated. He imagined a colossal figure representing liberty, a robed woman holding a torch high above her head, welcoming travelers from across the world. Her posture would be strong, her expression calm, her message universal. In 1871, Bartholdi traveled to the United States to assess the potential location for the monument. During this visit, he encountered New York Harbor, one of the busiest and most dynamic ports in the world. Immigrants from dozens of countries arrived daily seeking new opportunities. The first sight they had of America was the skyline of New York. Bartholdi envisioned his statue standing at the entrance of the harbor, rising above the water like a guardian of freedom. He selected Bedloe's Island, now Liberty Island, as the ideal location. At the time, it was a small military site, but its position was perfect, visible to every ship that entered the port. Bartholdi later said, "Here, in this gateway to the New World, liberty shall rise and shine." After returning to France, he began sketching designs based on classical Roman goddesses, especially Libertas, the ancient personification of liberty. He refined her face, her robes, and the symbolic objects she would hold. The torch in her right hand symbolized enlightenment. The tablet in her left hand, inscribed with July 4, MDCCLX Incaur, July 4, 1776, symbolized American independence. Thus the Statue of Liberty was born, not yet in metal and stone, but in vision, imagination, and symbolism. Creating a statue of such enormous scale was a challenge far beyond typical sculpture. The statue would stand over 150 feet tall, placed on a pedestal even larger. Bartholdi needed engineering expertise. This is where a rising French engineer entered the story, Alexandre Gustave Eiffel, the same man who would later design the Eiffel Tower. Eiffel and his team developed an ingenious internal framework to support the statue's copper skin. The iron skeleton they designed would allow the statue to withstand strong winds, storms, and vibrations. The copper exterior, hammered into shape using a process called repoussé, would be both lightweight and durable. More than 300 massive copper sheets were shaped and attached to the iron ribs. The engineering was revolutionary at the time. No statue of this size had ever been constructed. By 1876, the right arm and torch were completed and displayed at the Philadelphia World's Fair, where thousands saw the incredible scale of the project. A year later, the head of the statue was displayed at the Paris Exposition. Crowds were amazed by the size and detail. Donations began to pour in from people across France: school children, working-class families, artists, and political supporters of liberty. France committed to building the statue, while the United States would build the pedestal. This partnership symbolized the friendship and shared values between the two nations. Although France had taken on the responsibility of building the statue itself, the pedestal had to be funded by Americans. At first, this caused significant problems. Many American politicians questioned why they should spend money on a monument from France. Some argued that the country had more important priorities. Others worried the statue would be too expensive. Fundraising stalled. Construction of the pedestal could not begin without money. Then a heroic effort came from an unexpected source. Joseph Pulitzer, the publisher of the newspaper The New York World. In 1885, Pulitzer launched a campaign urging ordinary Americans to donate whatever small amount they could. His message was simple and powerful. The statue is a gift from the people of France. Let it be paid for by the people of America, not the wealthy, not the politicians, but the people. Over 120,000 Americans contributed to the pedestal fund, many donating as little as $1. Children sent nickels and pennies. Immigrants contributed whatever they could afford. Pulitzer published the names of all donors in his newspaper. This grassroots campaign succeeded. Enough money was collected to resume construction. The pedestal, made of concrete and granite, was designed by American architect Richard Morris Hunt. It would stand 89 feet tall and provide a grand base for the statue. By 1884, the Statue of Liberty was completed in Paris. It was a massive sight towering above buildings and visible from far away. The French people celebrated its completion with a ceremony where the statue was officially presented to the American ambassador. To transport the statue to the United States, it was taken apart into 350 pieces and packed into 214 crates. These crates were loaded onto a French frigate named Isère, which crossed the Atlantic Ocean carrying one of the most iconic sculptures ever created. When the ship arrived in New York on June 17, 1885, thousands of people gathered to witness the event. It was a moment of great pride and excitement. Assembly began on the island, with workers rebuilding the statue piece by piece like a giant three-dimensional puzzle. The iron framework was erected first. Then the copper plates were carefully attached. It took several months of intense labor, but by the end of 1886, the Statue of Liberty stood completed, an astonishing vision rising above New York Harbor. The official dedication ceremony took place on October 28, 1886. President Grover Cleveland led the event, joined by thousands of dignitaries, soldiers, musicians, and ordinary citizens. The moment the massive French flag covering the statue was pulled away, the crowd erupted in cheers. Ships in the harbor blew their horns, bands played, cannons fired. President Cleveland declared, "We will not forget that liberty has made her home here." For immigrants arriving in the United States, the statue quickly became a symbol of hope and a promise of a new beginning. Between 1892 and 1954, more than 12 million immigrants passed through nearby Ellis Island. Many later wrote that seeing the statue was one of the most emotional moments of their lives. The Statue of Liberty became more than a monument. It became a universal symbol of freedom. The statue is filled with meaningful symbols. The torch represents enlightenment and the light of freedom guiding the world. The crown contains 7 rays, symbolizing the 7 continents and 7 seas. A tablet, inscribed with the date of American independence, July 4, 1776. The broken chains at her feet, often unnoticed, these chains represent the end of oppression and slavery. Her gaze, she looks forward, not backward, representing progress, hope, and the future. The statue's green color, patina, occurred naturally as the copper oxidized over time, forming a protective layer. Throughout history, the Statue of Liberty remained a constant symbol, even during times of conflict. During World War I, the torch was closed to visitors after an explosion caused by German agents in 1916. During World War II, the statue continued to stand as a reassuring beacon for soldiers leaving and returning home. After the war, new waves of immigration again made her a symbol of welcome and opportunity. In 1956, Bedloe's Island was officially renamed Liberty Island. In 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson made Ellis Island a part of the Statue of Liberty National Monument. The statue has survived storms, economic depressions, and political conflicts. Her message remained unchanged: freedom belongs to all people. By the 1980s, the Statue of Liberty had begun to deteriorate due to age, weather, and corrosion. A massive restoration project was launched for her 100th anniversary. French and American engineers worked together again, echoing their 19th century partnership. They replaced the torch with a new copper flame covered in 24-karat gold. The internal iron framework was repaired, and new supports were added. On July 4, 1986, A grand celebration called Liberty Weekend marked the statue's centennial. Fireworks lit up the sky. Millions watched around the world. The restoration ensured the monument would stand strong for generations to come. Today, the Statue of Liberty remains one of the most visited monuments on Earth. She receives over 4 million visitors each year. Tourists climb her pedestal and, when open, ascend to the crown for a view unlike any other. Beyond tourism, the statue continues to influence art, literature, film, and political movements. She appears in paintings, movies, songs, and global culture. The statue is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a symbol recognized across the globe. In a rapidly changing world, Lady Liberty stands as a reminder of values that remain timeless: freedom, justice, and human dignity. The message of liberty did not remain confined to the United States. Copies and replicas of the Statue of Liberty have been built in France, Japan, Brazil, China, and many other countries. Some are small, others nearly rival the original. These replicas show that the statue's symbolism transcends borders. She represents something universal, something every human desires: freedom and the right to pursue a better life. From an idea born in the mind of a French scholar to its position as an icon of global liberty, the Statue of Liberty carries a legacy unlike any other monument. She stands for the power of friendship between nations, the triumph of democracy, the resilience of the human spirit, hope for immigrants, freedom from tyranny. She is more than copper, steel, and stone. She is a living symbol, a message to the world, and as long as she stands, her torch will continue to shine. The Statue of Liberty's history is not simply the story of a monument. It is the story of ideas so powerful they crossed oceans, inspired nations, and changed lives. From Laboulaye's dream to Bartholdi's vision, from Eiffel's engineering genius to the millions of immigrants whose tears fell upon the deck of ships as they first saw her, Liberty stands as a universal promise. Her torch glows not just in New York Harbor, but in the hearts of all who believe in freedom. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this documentary, please subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you in the next story.